Alright, Doom, I need you to kick this off for me while I take a look at something real quick, pretty please.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 2 of our series here at the Home Story Cup NA Qualifiers. Doom casting with Rifkin in the lower right-hand corner. From MYI, My Insanity. Player who will be moving to Switzerland soon, down 0-1 in this series, the Red Zerg player, none other than Kane.
And his opponent in the upper left, the one true American hero, with that bandana so brilliant, so glorious, playing for complexity and spotting purple. It's going to be QXC. And I did actually just get the bracket link for Red Bull. I don't know if we can make this public or not, so I won't do that yet, but Doom, I'm going to paste it to you on Skype.
Oh, I got it, Rifkin. Don't even worry, bro.
Alright, cool. So we're going to actually, after this series is done, even though Red Bull doesn't start for another little bit, we'll be able to start looking at the matches and try and figure out who we're going to cast. But for the time being, we're still in the Home Story Cup North American Qualifiers. And we'll see who can get past this to make it to the semifinals. Yeah, this is the quarterfinals currently, guys. So already pretty close to the end here. The only person advanced so far to the semifinals looks like is TT1, who took a 2-1 over Illusion. But as we see here out of QXC, as predicted, a 2 racks.
Called it, Riff.
I really like this move, though, because QXC is one of the few players who have... You can classify this as cheese, you can sigh and groan and moan, but the reality is QXC's done this so many times. He's tried it against Nurtio. He's one of the only players I've seen pull it off against Nurtio, quite frankly. I mean... He's a master of the 2 racks, and the really cool thing about it is the position in which he chose to put them. Not only, oh, sorry, a bit of a hiccup. Not only is this further back a little awkward, Kane's not going to think to scout here. He comes across the map with a drone, he scouts into QXC's base, he knows it's a 2 racks now. But the question is, where's it coming from? And the great thing about this is, if this fails, this is a much shorter distance for QXC to bring it back home. And I gotta tell you, dude, when you're up 1 in a series like this, a move like this might seem ballsy, but I think it's very calculated.
I mean, why not? Why not give it a try? If you feel like you have superior control of your opponent, then this is what you should definitely do. And it looks like Kane expected this, Rifkin. He scouted out to multiple locations, and he's just now going to see the fact that the Marines are in his natural. First drone is going to fall, it appears, as well, just barely not.
No, this is so cool. QXC's actually in the bunker a little further back. This second bunker will be in range of the hatchery, but this first one will actually be much safer. He can actually go inside of this. How many times have you seen the 2 racks happen, and a player surrounds the Marines with drones, and they can't even get inside the bunker? Well, with this further back bunker, he's going to be safe, he's going to be sound, and he's not going to be too worried about this.
You know, I'm actually kind of curious to what Kane's plan is going to be. He is going for metabolic boost, so it appears that he may even try to just run by. I'm not sure if he'll engage the bunkers directly, especially considering it's just now finishing up.
The problem with the run by those, of course, you can just repair those bunkers all day with SCVs. He's really just got to stock up, like, say, 12 plus lings, get a queen, get a spine crawler, and push the bunkers down.
Definitely will be getting spine crawler here in the natural. QXC even bring those SCVs up to target the natural. I like that he brought 3 SCVs up. And, oh man, another bunker going to be going on here. It's going to be even harder contained. QXC recognize the fact that Kane may try to do something.
All QXC needs to do is take down this hatchery for this to be a success. I mean, you obviously want to win the game afterwards for sure, but if he starts floating his barracks home right now, he'll be in really good form. Ooh. Oh, Broodling's actually going to maybe kill one of the SCVs. QXC just barely keeping that one alive. But of course, as you state, with metabolic boost, Kane with almost 30 lings on the field can just run past this. He can get a Baneling Nest down, he can bust through what QXC has at home and just end the game. Or he can try and break this. He's left with one of those 2 choices.
Yeah, this is kind of a sticky situation, but it does look like he is going to go surround initially on these bunkers.
Big surround goes off. SCV's not even repairing, they were repairing each other actually. And QXC now taking the racks home, sending one forward, sending one back. He's got to get prepared for the follow-up to this. Kane immediately taking his hatchery back, not wasting a single second. And QXC forced to get a bunker at home, forced to get Brax up. He's got to desperately try and get something down, because these lings, again, lings will never break supply depots like this. QXC is perfectly fine. But if a Baneling Nest were down, this would be the end of the game for QXC.
It doesn't look like Kane has gone back to mining gas at this point. Is going to be crashing up against these depots at the front. I wouldn't call it panic mode necessarily for QXC, but behind this rift, he doesn't have a command center.
He can't be lazy.
It's going to be one base.
He needs to pull more SCVs. He needs at least 2 more SCVs.
You know, a cool trick I learned about the bunker situation is that you can unload a bunker as it's being repaired when it's very low health, and it'll change the attack priority on them. So that could have been something QXC utilized back at home to try to stifle Kane there. But this middle supply depot.
This is what I'm talking about. He can't be lazy. If he's gonna only have 4 SCVs like this, he has to pay the most attention in the universe. But Kane is draining resources from QXC by doing this. It's really important that he didn't just back off. I mean, now he's gonna have to leave with the Marines coming out, but he's essentially probably eaten, I'd say, a good 100 resources. I wish you could see like repairs, like resources lost through repairs or something, but third base being taken by Kane. And a lot of this comes from the fact that he knows QXC is not going to be moving out anytime soon. There's not going to be drops to follow this up. QXC is playing off of one base, plain and simple.
There goes the command center. Finally going down to QXC, but this is, I don't know if this is the most optimal position for QXC. Sure, he got the halves down initially, but behind this, Kane's going to have 3 hatches up.
Yeah.
He's going to get back on that economy, that 70 drone economy that he really enjoys. And at this point in time, he's going to be, you know, relatively even with QXC in tech. You know, I don't think that QXC is going to have the biggest advantage in the world. Of course, he does have this factory down with the reactors on them, but unless he throws down a third command center and goes for something in that regard, I feel like he's going to be forced to do some type of a timing attack off of that early aggression. Oh, and here we go. Lings are actually going to get into the main base unguarded. Well, pretty well guarded, I should say, actually.
Yeah, with the Hellions coming out, QXC's actually okay with that, with the bunker as well. But I don't know if that was a trap or a mistake, but either way, that worked out very nicely for QXC because a lot of those Lings, the sad thing about losing those Lings like that is now he's going to lose map control. He's not going to have Lings sitting at the third base, sitting at the natural base, waiting to see when QXC moves out. Going to rely purely on Overlord vision, and we take a look at the vision of Kane, and he actually doesn't have that much on the map.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Admiral Akbar way and go ahead and say that was definitely a trap there by QXC. And he is following up with a third command center, so as long as he can get that established, get his natural nice and cozy, he should be okay moving forward there. But Kane is following this up with that Baneling Nest finally in the main base, Rifkin.
You know, it's kind of funny. In a lot of scenarios, you see the third command center come out of a Terran player, pretty standard stuff, but in this scenario, it's actually completely necessary. It's not greedy in any way, shape, or form. He's got to make up for the deficit of going for that 2 racks early on. And Kane again with lots of really good link control, trying to get on top of these Hellions. QXC, though, with equally good control, loses only 2 Hellions, but fries a lot of Lings in the process.
Yeah, I'm actually, you know, impressed with Kane's ability to deter these Hellions, really, because if we look at what he did there, he didn't take any economic damage from that situation. So I'm going to count that as a win at that point. And QXC hasn't killed a single worker in the game, so this is looking pretty decent for Kane as he's going to bring up, going to get these 2 evolution chambers up and, you know, sit nice and tight with this third base. It's well defended with the spine crawler.
Yeah, we're kind of moving to that same composition we saw last game. We're going to have Marines versus Banelings, Zerglings versus Hellions, all of this lovely goodness. But the scary thing for our QXC this time, though, is his upgrade's going to be so late. Everything he does is going to be so late. However, Kane, who has spent a considerable amount of his resources in drones at this point, up on 60 basically right now, doesn't have a lot in the field to defend. He's got 5 Banelings, morphing in some more, but these have all got to connect in the best way possible because they don't live to see another day. They get the job done and then they're gone forever.
The suicide unit. Well, you know, one of the big wins here for Kane, he had those 3 bases up just as QXC was placed down as natural. So in this regard, looking economically, he's doing pretty well. In fact, he's about 400 minerals over QXC, and that's with mules on the field. 37 SCVs to 60 drones. I would say as long as he can defend against any of these pushes that QXC is trying here and defend it well.
But the kiting, he's got so many Hellions is the problem. I mean, Zerglings are fast as hell and creep, so are Banelings, but with this many Hellions and that splash damage, Kane cannot just A-move. This is not one of those scenarios.
Well, behind this, he is going for the lair. +1/+1 has begun for Kane, and these Hellions going to still try to be the menaces that they are on the middle of getting those 2 creep tumors.
Almost getting the Queen, too. Actually going to go back for the Queen, finishing the job. But that's a lot of Lings from Kane flooding across the map. There's no bunker here. There's a lot of Marines. They do have stim, but there's no medevac support. There's no additional support to these Marines. So if they do get surrounded, they'll be in for some trouble. But this is so many, I don't think Kane has enough Lings. And it's certainly not after QXC barbecues a good chunk of them. About a quarter of them get caught on the wrong ramp. Oh, and the Banelings as well. QXC, if you can pick these off for free, would be huge. Oh, that is massive. Even just 2 Banelings going down like that. Without speed, these were kind of the volatile anti-Marine units on the field. We're going to lose every single one of them to the Hellions.
Such a tough situation. In the last game here, we saw QXC do well without the Hellions on the field, but now we're seeing him have this, you know, count of 6 Hellions on the field and just dominating in terms of the map control. QXC is even going to be taking his third base now, while Kane is about to take his fourth on the side of the field. Looks like QXC with the Hellions should be able to scout that out. All right, so decision for Kane here is going to be the Spire once again. And of course, as we said before, QXC going back to that same Marine heavy composition, +1/+1, just about 3/4 of the way done for him as well. Getting that armory at a nice timing as well, so be able to move right into the +2/+2. And there we go. Sees the fourth base going down, knows his position in the game at this point.
Really big thing too is we got the Spire finally making its way into the field. QXC was at no medevacs. There's been no necessity of that Spire. That's why Kane never invested into it. But he's got to know at this point in the game, he's going to absolutely need it because QXC. Oh, these Marines are in a really nice formation, actually. Widowmines can both clean up the rest of this, but I think the Marines should be able to take the Lings. Oh, friendly fire. Hell of a drug.
This guy's arm went flying towards that third base. That was brutality in of its essence. But looking at the unit count here, there's only 9 Marines on the field, Rifkin, and they are 79 Lings for Kane here.
But some
Widowmines into the third base.
Will make some quick work of this. Big hits actually go off. QXC, who had no luck in the last game, is getting the best Widowmine connections this game. Gonna still lose workers, gonna still lose mules, but these Hellions, they should be able to clean this up. But here come the Banelings rolling in. Kane relentlessly assaulting QXC here, not giving him any room to breathe, paying him back for that 2 racks in full. 3 Banelings. Oh, okay, only 1 Baneling now. Actually, not that scary, but third base gonna force to be lift, and Widowmines are about to rearm. QXC, can he get the Banelings to run into them?
Oh, it's a stressful situation here. 2 more Widowmines are going to burrow. They should be able to hit those Lings, but they run away just in time. In fact, they're going to go off on just a pocket full of Lings, and now the Natural's under attack.
SCVs are being pulled back, but is there even enough to hold this? More Marines coming out. This small amount of Lings, so vicious, so deadly, and suddenly QXC has taken a lot of damage. How many workers killed in the end there? Oops, sorry, wrong tab. 25 in total, Doom, and still Kane has not lost a single drone. If you can imagine, we've had 9 Hellions on the field and not a drone has been killed. What is this TVZ we're currently witnessing?
That's impressive, man. Definitely an impressive feat. And focus firing down Widowmines once again. QXC now sees a Mutalisk on the field, and this is as a Terran player where your heart sinks literally into your stomach.
Well, Widowmine actually gets the hit off before it goes down. Another hit goes off. What? I guess Kane just literally 1 Mutalisk too short on the damage to kill them. But we got a lot of Banelings now finish morphing in the middle of the map. This third base should be taken out. There's not a lot of SCVs to kill because Kane already killed a lot of them. However, QXC going for drops on the other side of the map will be able to shut down this one base. This will actually draw Kane back home. I don't know. I think he really could have wiped out the base here of QXC, but of course, not knowing what QXC has on the field, not knowing if there's Widowmines waiting for him, I guess playing it safe is a good choice.
Yeah, I think it was just a, overall just throwing it to the wind for QXC to say, hey, if I can keep my third base a little more protected here, I should be able to get a little more infrastructure. He is definitely waiting for that +2/+2/+2 to finish up. It should be done in about, looks about 50 seconds, but I don't know if it's going to last that long, Rifkin.
This is such a big mass of red. This like clump of Zerglings, so many Banelings.
But you never know. Widowmines have been in QXC's favor so far, so if he gets 2 huge shots down, the tides can turn, but pinned into a corner here. Baneling's gonna kill all the Marines.
I'm not gonna repeat it on stream. That really reminds me of how Destiny phrased once upon a time how you're supposed to use Banelings and Lings. Some of you guys will know that reference, some of you won't. It's inappropriate for the stream, but either way, Marines getting cleaned up, Zerglings getting cleaned up. The last couple Widowmines are getting popped here. And QXC just doesn't have anything on the field. His production streaming out of his main, but there's just no answer. Kane, who can just keep flooding Lings, doesn't even need Mutalisk to win this. In fact, where are his Mutalisks? They're across the field chasing medevacs, cleaning up any potential drop. And if these were with the army right now, this would be game over for QXC, but he's still going to hold on to this just barely with the Marines. Is there going to be enough to him to hold off the Mutalisks? Actually, not even cleaning up the Zerglings. The wall is down, and Kane will take game 2, evening this up 1-1.